and I don't know who else.
In 76.
76.
In that one. But I remember being excited.
All set?
Yeah.
All right.
Where would you like?
Just that chair right there on the end, sir.
All right.
Nebraska Arts and Culture Day at the Capitol and the kickoff celebration of America 250. My name is Dr. Lance Nielsen. I'm the Executive Director for Nebraskans for the Arts. Today, we gather to honor the extraordinary power of the arts, the creative expressions that connect us, challenge us, and help us tell our stories. As we begin this national commemoration of 250 years of this great country, it's fitting that we reflect on how the arts have shaped our identity, enriched our communities, and carried forward the American spirit through every chapter of our history. The arts reminds us who we are, where we come from, and where we are headed. They fuel innovation, strengthen our economy, and deepen our understanding of one another. In Nebraska and across the nation, artists and cultural organizations help ensure that the beauty of our diverse experiences is seen, heard, and celebrated. We are grateful for your presence here today as we celebrate arts and culture in Nebraska, and for your ongoing support of creativity and cultural expression in our state and nation. And now it's my pleasure to introduce to you our Lieutenant Governor of the great state of Nebraska, Joe Kelly.
Thank you very much, Lance. It's very nice to be, pleasure to be with you all here today in the beautiful Warner Chamber. And for those of you who have not been in the chamber before, this is obviously the second of our two chambers that was utilized before we had a unicameral system. And in back of me is the voting board with those senators who were here for the very last vote in this Senate chamber before Nebraska went to the one-chamber system. Thank you for all of you being here today to kick off Nebraska's participation in the Nebraska 250 celebrations. I'm honored to be here with so many artists, educators, creative district leaders, and advocates from across the state to celebrate the vital role that arts and culture play in Nebraska. By supporting the arts, we are investing in our young people, encouraging creativity, critical thinking, and skills that prepare for success in any field. The arts help tell our stories, preserve our history, and connect communities from all over. I'm especially proud that we're here celebrating a milestone that is unique to our state, Nebraska, the 50th anniversary of the Nebraska I80 Bicentennial Sculpture Project, led by the Nebraska Arts Council. From Ogallala to Ashland, these iconic sculptures have brought art to our highways, reflecting the stories, landscapes, and spirit of communities. Over 100 artists competed for the coveted slot along the interstate, of which only 8 were chosen. And each artist was then provided with a studio space in a community near their artwork's final location. For 5 decades, these works have sparked curiosity and conversation, leaving a lasting impact on Nebraskans and the millions who travel through. I'll deviate and go personal for one moment. In 1979, I had a job during the summer of my college time in one of the rest areas in between 2 of them, between Lexington and Cozad. No sculpture there, but it was amazing how many people would stop and say, you know, we've stopped previously on either west or eastbound and seen some of them. It really did spark a lot of national interest. The sculptures are a perfect example of how art reflects our history and community spirit, values that resonate as we celebrate America 250. It's a meaningful moment to reflect on our past, take pride in the extraordinary nation we are privileged to call home. In the months ahead, Nebraska will host several exciting events leading up to the larger America 250 celebration on the 4th of July, events that all Nebraskans will be invited to participate in. Today gives us an opportunity to learn from one another, share ideas, and reaffirm the importance of creativity in strengthening our communities and shaping Nebraska's future. At this time, I would like to introduce Jewel Rodgers of Omaha, who is the youngest person to hold the title as Nebraska State Poet at the age of 27. She is recognized for her dynamic performances and has been involved in various community events, schools, and festivals throughout Nebraska. Jewel Rodgers aims to inspire future generations through her poetry and plans to host showcases across Nebraska to engage more people in the art of poetry, making poetry accessible and relevant to all Nebraskans. Ms. Rodgers.
America was born of men staking claim, a declaration becoming a model for a people who learned to speak in tongues, who became gods born of separation necessary to make themselves whole. This was the strongest endowment, to make self-evident that all men are created equal as the rest of us, and in the beginning, there were the men, and the men imagined a heaven on earth worth protecting, holy hands shaping in their image an industry born from native palms rooted in the soil of three sisters' knowledge, older than the nation taught the land to feed and multiply, taught the men abundance before they named it progress. They learned to skim the water surface until belief carried them west from Missouri to the Pacific. If you listen, you can hear the spirit hovering above bodies in waves, wading tobacco, sugarcane, cotton fields, hands bent, backs bowed, song and sermon swelling, one refrain: liberty. Hidden hands set the stone of the White House, drove the iron of the railroad, brave bodies from villages, ports, borders, trading their lives for a freedom known first within the flesh as a dream when America was born. We were made to be fruitful, to multiply, and we did. Languages nestled in tenements and camps, in reservations, in fields, in kitchens, in factories, in rail lines stretching west, in shanties. The blues bellowed rich as the clay holding harvest in parlors. The jazz juked rhythm into rock and roll we did. The men said, let there be light, and luminous current threaded cities and plains. Then there was flight, two brothers touching the sky until trajectories traveled beyond earth. were penciled by women, their numbers carrying us toward the stars, from Morse code to radio waves, black and white screens to color, satellites circling signals, bouncing the world, fitting briefly in the palm of our hands when America was born. A few men, insistent upon their freedom, signed a document and called it law, told the world 13 colonies would withdraw their consent, that men like them were created equal. And look what became of us, a nation sustained not by the few, but the many, by labor and invention, culture and care. We, the people, work, drill, farm, weld, code, cook, ferment, and raise, the day from night marking time, not by crowns or borders, but by survival. And we, in their image, in their likeness, are persistent in the right to life, to liberty, to the pursuit of happiness, deriving from our bodies the beginnings of just power, laying the foundation of freedom, making a home of our hands on this land, on this day. The men created America, and we create the freedom.
At this time, I'd like to introduce to you our Executive Director for the Nebraska Arts Council, Mike Markey.
Can I just have Joel Rodgers talk some more? That would be wonderful. The Arts Council has some responsibilities to the state, and one of them is to take care of the art, public art, that we are so great to have here in the state, including what was begun in 1976 with the Bicentennial Sculpture Project. An effort to celebrate the bicentennial was a wonderful project, and the Lieutenant Governor did a wonderful job laying out the basics for it. And so we began this effort a couple of years ago, looking at what can we do with this project that would make it not only important in celebrating the past, but in making this work relevant to today. So we started by conserving the pieces, and we finished that last summer, and the pieces are all in wonderful shape, and they're all gleaming and just ready for the celebration this summer. But we thought this is a wonderful opportunity to achieve some things with them, to not only celebrate the project that was 50 years ago and the unique relationship between the federal and state government that made this project happen, that brought contemporary art to the state of Nebraska in 1976, that brought artists into the communities to work with the community to generate the art that happened in those communities. And all that was a very special project. Then we wanted to also then call attention to the public art throughout the state, not only in those communities, but in communities along I-80 and elsewhere. So we wanted to be able to celebrate the communities and that relationship with the public art. So we'll be doing some other projects. You'll hear about those in a moment. And as to how we call attention to public art, the unique relationship between art and the community that happens whenever you place something out in the public. And then finally, we wanted to increase awareness of the arts in general. The fact that the arts drive a lot of what makes the economies in these communities work, that makes these communities a better place to live, and call attention to that thing that makes this the good life here in Nebraska. I want to call attention to a couple of other partners in this effort who have been instrumental. I first want to recognize that one of the partnerships that we began early on was with the Semi-Quincentennial Commission, and under the direction of Director Darrell Bohawk from the Nebraska State Historical Society. He was wonderful to take on this effort. Practically the first day he took the job, and he's done a wonderful job leading that effort. So please, Darrell, stand up so they all know who to ask questions of. He has a wonderful commission of people in several different areas that are all bringing together their thoughts to make our Nebraska 250 effort special. The other is the person who really gave me a foundation of understanding of what this project is. the historical nature of this project, which is so special, and the keeper of the flame, as it were, today is a wonderful gentleman, Dan Worth. Dan, if you would please stand up. Dan is an architectural historian who's led the effort to get the I-80 Bicentennial Sculpture Project on the National Register of Historic Places. That can't happen until the 50th year, so Dan's been waiting for this year, and now he's out there making it happen. We have a hearing on Friday to try to make that happen here at the state level, and then it'll go up to the national level. So those are some of the people that really know about this project. If you want to find out more about that project and how you can be involved in it, those are some folks that really can tell you what's going on in those areas. Now, I want to bring up Megan Dion, who is our Public Art Director, who will tell you some of the activities that we have going on this year to not only recognize the importance of this project, but to celebrate its role in our America 250. Megan?
Good morning, everyone. I also appreciate the introduction from Mike. And just want to make a quick moment to focus on the video that we will be sharing this year. This is a preview, sneak peek of a video that we're creating for the Bicentennial Sculpture Project and giving some updates to the new work that we're doing this year and highlighting some of the people that were involved in 1976. So with that, before I speak a little bit further, I'll have Sam play the video so that we can get the sneak peek of what OnPxl has been doing for us.
50 years ago, Norman Gaskey and Art Thompson and others created this great idea of sculptures along I-80. This was something new. Nobody else has done it.
I think it was Weston Webb who called and said, "Hey Joe, would you like to be part of this?" I loved being with the people who were involved in it. And it was exciting and fun and interesting. You could go on a scavenger hunt and look for these places.
People do travel for cultural tourism.
With I-80, it was an exciting time and a really wonderful project. And I'm really delighted that it ended up in Nebraska.
So now it'd be refreshed. And it's a good project for celebrating 250 years of the country.
Thank you, Sam, and thank you to OnPxl for sharing a sneak preview for us to share with you today. My name is Megan Dion. I am the Public Art and Artist Program Specialist for the Nebraska Arts Council. And for America 250, we have been building on Nebraska's project for the United States Bicentennial, which included not only our sculptures that we still have today, but it also included an increase of knowledge around public art. It included community interaction and conversation around public art, and it included opportunities for tourism across the state, getting people off the interstate and how to see more of what the state has to offer, all because of public art. And so in June, we are planning an exhibition. And that exhibition will be in each of the communities that has a sculpture. And this video will be included in that exhibition. We will be interviewing 12 people, so this was really a sneak peek of that video. And the exhibition will also focus on each community's sculptures. So it will be different each time you go to a different exhibition to focus on what the artist thought about their sculpture and how it connected to America and to their communities in Nebraska. It will also include an overview of the whole project that happened in 1976. And we'll also be installing signage at each of the rest areas that have a sculpture. And it will include similar information as the exhibition, And both the exhibition and signage will include a map where all of the sculptures are located along the interstate so people can plan where to stop next along the interstate. And then also a QR code so that they can visit our website, see more about the sculptures, see about all of the events that we're planning, and maybe have more opportunities to bring people off the interstate and into the communities. And we're doing all of that as a way to really build on the public art knowledge and community interaction. In July, we're inviting, and very excited, to host John Raimondi. He was one of the original artists of the Bicentennial Sculpture Project. He is responsible for Irma's Desire, which is located at the Grand Island eastbound rest area. And he was here for an artist residence in 1976 and thinks very fondly of his time spent in Nebraska. So starting on June 30th, he will be speaking at the Sheldon Art Museum in a panel discussion with some of the other key players of the time, followed by an event at the Jocelyn Art Museum in Omaha, the Museum of Nebraska Art in Kearney, the Stewart Museum in Grand Island, as well as rededication ceremonies at the sculpture sites, including the ceremony at the Milford eastbound rest area, which will be in conjunction with Nebraska's 4th of July city celebration in Seward, Nebraska on July 4th. We hope that you will all join us for all of those, as well as events that are happening in the communities that have sculptures. We've been working on programming with the communities that have sculptures so that there's that continued community interaction and activity around what makes us Nebraskan, what makes us proud of our public art, and specifically around these sculptures. And that said, there will also be many other activities that happen in communities across the state that have sculpture gardens and sculptures. Since 1976, so many have been installed across the state, and we see the people that have these in their community be so proud of them that it starts communication and interaction, and you can find all of these events and activities on our website, the Arts Council website, and our America 250 webpage. It is also a place where if you're having an event around your artwork and America 250, we invite you to post your events on that website so that we can help get people out to see your events and to see your communities and your public art. We're so excited to be celebrating these sculptures this year in their 50th anniversary, and we are very appreciative of everyone that is here today to join us in that. And with that, I will invite Jen Gierde, who is with the tourism department, and she will share a little bit more about what they have planned. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan. Good morning, everyone. Again, I'm Jen Gierde. I'm with the Nebraska Tourism Commission, also known as Visit Nebraska. I'm so happy to be here to bring a hello from our office as we kick off this 250 and all the projects that are happening around it, especially with our great partnership we've had with the Arts Council over the last few years. So at Visit Nebraska, our mission is to bring visitors to Nebraska and grow the state's economy through tourism. We create demand that benefits communities of all sizes. Arts and culture play a big role in that work. The experiences travelers are responding to aren't manufactured by tourism, they're created locally by artists, organizations, and communities investing in place. Our role is to help bring visitors to those experiences once they exist. Looking back at 2025, one of the ways we did that was through the Nebraska Passport program. The Passport encourages people to slow down, take a different turn, and spend time in communities across the state. So last year, more than 146,000 stamps were collected by Passport travelers. More than 1,000 people went to all 70 stops across the state, and each Passport destination saw an average increase of 3,100 visitors to their destination. Looking forward, we are going to continue something with the Passport as well with the creative districts. So the 2026 passport and the 2026 travel guide, which you may have already seen, here's the travel guide, features local artist Katie Nealand. We thought in an era when it would have been easy to lean on AI and all the artificial things, we wanted to choose something genuine and a real person, and we were really excited to be able to highlight a local artist through our guide. The passport cover will look very similar to this. I know you guys are probably wondering what the passport stops are for 2026, but I cannot release those yet. They usually get announced on March 1st, Nebraska's birthday. It's our way to blow out the candles every year. What I can tell you is that this year we're adding what I will call a creative districts icon in the passport booklet. So it's kind of like an icon we also have in the booklet that's like, this is a pet-friendly destination, or this is a handicap accessible destination. So there will be a little icon on every destination that is in a creative district. There will be 26 of those in 2026 of the 70. Being able to share this today, I did get what the icon is going to look like mocked up already. The booklet is not to print yet, but I wanted to make sure I could show it to you. And then also a page that is going to be featured in the booklet about the sculpture projects, which is what we're really excited about today. So that page will be featured in the back of the book and hopefully get people excited on their road trips to also stop and see the sculptures while they are getting their passport stamps. Two other features of the passport this year, there will be the Look It and Book It tour. These haven't been released yet, so you guys are getting a little bit of a sneak peek. There's going to be a Look It and Book It tour. You can kind of tell that's going to be galleries, bookstores, art destinations. And then there's also going to be a tour. Daryl, it's going to be called Party Like It's 1776. I hope that's okay. And it'll feature a lot of the historical destinations that can be tied back to our nation's history. But I just want you guys to know, at the end of the day, our responsibility is clear. When you turn creativity into visitation, it turns visitation into spending, and spending into opportunity for Nebraska residents. And I thank you so much for helping us make that happen.
Thank you, Jen. In a conversation we were having just yesterday with Dan Worth, he was reminding me that the initial purpose of the whole project was for tourism, to get people off the interstate and into the communities, and that's a big effort of what we're continuing to strive to do this year, and the partnership we have with the Tourism Commission is very important in that effort. Did I see Art Thompson sneak in the back? Art, would you please stand up? Art was there at the very beginning. He held the hand of Norman Geske and Tom Yates and the governor to make this thing happen. He was there when the ground was broken on the different sculptures, and his wisdom and guidance in helping us has been instrumental. Art, thank you very much. Please give him your praise. Again, finally, this project has a wonderful historical component to it, and we're celebrating what was. But we sought also to make it relevant to today. What is the role of public art in the community today, and what relationship is there? And to that extent, one, I think, the most exciting elements of what we've been working on with the Semi-Quincentennial Commission, with the Humanities Nebraska folks, with anybody that would help, is an educational component that studies the role of public art in the community. And I'm going to stop talking. Ann Alston's going to tell you more. Ann?
Thank you, Mike. Yeah, I am happy to be here this morning. So, good morning. I can share a little bit about a special educational project that we've developed. We're calling it My Nebraska, Our America Public Art Design Challenge, and it's just for Nebraska students. It's made possible by a partnership with the Nebraska Semi-Quincentennial Commission, the Nebraska Department of Education, and the Nebraska Arts Council. And I want to recognize Bree Wilton, who is with the Semi-Quincentennial Commission and the Department of Education, sitting in the back. Say hello, Bree. You have to wave highs. So Bree's a big part of this, and we've rolled it out. We rolled it out in January. And essentially, this project is looking is allowing students to use the lens of public art to explore themes that are central to America 250. Things like community, innovation, civic identity. This project challenges students to explore how Nebraska's people and our history shape the American experience. The design challenge is open to all Nebraska K-12 students in both private and public schools, as well as homeschool students. And so, what exactly is included in this project? Well, there's a website. There's a standalone website. It's ne250artchallenge.com, and it also is linked on the Nebraska Arts Council website. And this website includes a wealth of resources for teachers. There is a lesson plan toolkit with tons of resources having to do with public art that will help guide teachers to develop lesson plans, to work with their students on designing public art. By the way, the lesson plans are aligned with Nebraska Social Studies standards and Fine Arts standards in the visual arts. So the student artworks will be featured on the NE250 Challenge website. Teachers are invited to submit the designs. If they meet the requirements for the project, they will all be featured on the website in an online gallery later in the year. In the spring, selected artworks will be chosen to be printed in large format for a traveling exhibit. And so we're really pleased that the exhibit will come first to the state capitol during the month of July. Later, it will go to the Museum of Nebraska Art in Kearney during the month of August. Following that, it will go to the Nebraska Department of Education in Lincoln. So with that, thank you very much for your time. I hope you'll check out the website, and feel free to contact me or Bree if you have questions. We can tell you more about it. Thank you.
That's it. That's it. This is just a taste of what's going to be coming this spring. You've met some of the folks who are involved in the project. If you have ideas, questions, concerns, thoughts, you just want to say hi, please, you know who to talk to. On the table out front is a quick flyer with more information about it. There's also a packet, a historical packet about the project. And the most important thing is that QR code on that thing, so it'll take you to the wealth of information that's available on the website. Thank you all very much. I hope that we see you again at some of the other events that are coming up, and go celebrate public art. Thanks.